Hey guys, this is Angela from We Are Family Homeschoolers, and today's video is all about ninth grade for my 14-year-old daughter who is a typical learner. I thought I should throw that in there because sometimes my videos are made for my ADHD learners. So this is the typical ninth grade with some electives thrown in here, and let's get into it. Okay, for science this year, my ninth grade daughter has chosen to do Advanced Pre-Med studies by MasterBooks. And this is a typical 9th to 12th grade curriculum. It is worth a science credit. And this is the teacher book / workbook. It also includes schedules. This is a Christian curriculum, in case you're not familiar with MasterBooks. There's a schedule checkoff sheet. You can add due dates and grades if you want to. There are a series of books that go with this one. So these are the worksheets that go with the history of medicine. You have some true or false. And you have matching. Some of these will be short answer. This one is body by design. There are some projects in here should you choose to do those. Here we have short answer. Fill in the blanks. The answers are in the back of the book. So if you're concerned about that, you can always rip them out. They are all 3-hole punched. You can put them in a separate binder for mom only. All right, and that's what that looks like. So the first book is Building Blocks in Life Science, sold by MasterBooks. You can also buy this on christianbook.com. So it covers a biological change, Darwin versus design, patterns in structure and development, DNA and the origin of life. It's also going to address missing links and creation versus evolution. And this one appears to be a black and white book. And that's what that one looks like, breaking down DNA. Okay, the next book is called Body by Design, Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. And this one covers recognizing design in the human body, origins of the human body, discovering DNA, cells, and tissue, exploring development, Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, exploring the skeletal system in the multifaceted body framework, exploring interwoven designs of the muscular system. It covers all the systems here: digestive, excretory, heart and bloodstream, respiratory, nervous system, sensory systems, endocrine, detecting diseases. This one kind of reads like a history book. So I really like that. I think it's a little more interesting that way. Also black and white. Okay. The next book in the series is The Genesis of Germs, the Origin of Diseases and the Coming Plagues. This one is going to cover microbes by design, bacteria in a fallen world, a zoo in pond water, fungi, recyclers of nutrients and sources of treasures, viruses, immune system, emergent diseases, the origin of disease, plagues and pestilences of the future. Also black and white. That was a gross picture. Sorry. Okay. All right, the last book in the series is The History of Medicine by John Hudson Tyner. From the Ancient Physicians of Pharaoh to Genetic Engineering. My daughter's actually read this book 2 or 3 times. We've had this one for a few years. She just finds it fascinating. Again, reads like a history book. Table of contents. We have the first physicians, Greek medicine goes wrong, fabric of the body, father of modern surgery, the living river, that would be your bloodstream, the invisible kingdom, triumph over smallpox, Davy, Deden's pain, Morton defeats the pain of surgery, death house in Vienna, the chemist who became a doctor, Joseph Lister fights infection, the search for disease germs, Louis Pasteur, Dr. Lynn's limes, the hidden hunger, mysterious rays, useful radiation, wonder drugs, mold battles bacteria, and medicine in today's world. There are little quizzes here. True and false, those were the worksheets you saw in the book previously. Lots of illustrations, again, black and white. Okay, and that is our 9th grade science. For history, we are finishing up From Adam to Us, Part 2, Castles to Computers. This one is by Notgrass. She did Part 1 last year for 8th grade. And because she's doing all the optional reading, I'm going to go ahead and allow her to count this as her world history credit. So this one is full color. It's beautiful. It has a whole bunch of different assignments that you can do. You can get some literature credit. You can get some Bible credit. There are family activities. There's timeline, and there's workbook questions. There's a map book. And our creative world is like letters and poetry from people back in that time. I do not require my daughter to do any of these writing assignments. She does have to do the timeline, the map book, and the creative world, and she will do the lesson review questions. So this is just a beautiful book. It's very thick. Keeps her interested. It's a lot of work, honestly. I don't know if I would want to do the whole entire course in a year. So we're allowing her to do half of it for 8th grade and then finish it up here in her 9th grade. Which happens to work out because our family went through a medical crisis last year, and so everybody's struggling to catch up. What goes along with this is the map book. And here are your assignments right here, what you need to find, trace, color, markup. Then we have the timeline book, writing in on the timeline there, what happened when. The lesson review book, there is another workbook for younger age students. If you have a younger student working in this, you have tests in the back. Short answer questions. There is an answer key. And this one is our creative world, stories, poems, documents, art, and architecture from world history. So again, beautiful pictures. This one is Zimbabwe. And architecture in Asia and Africa. Sometimes there will be an ancient document or some poetry or the old-fashioned paintings from the time that she'll be studying. So that's our creative world. Okay, along with history came a huge pile of readers, and she's already read through half of them. So what is left is The King's Fifth. Madeline Takes Command. Again, very hefty novels here. The Chess Tree Oak. and Children of the Storm. Oh, this one is about Soviet Russia. Okay. I was thinking maybe World War II. All right, so there's history. Okay, so for math, we are using an online teaching textbook. So this is what the website looks like, and then you can click on free trial, and you can get 15 lessons for free. You can also do a little placement test to see what level you place in. Again, I place my children by their skill level, not necessarily according to age or grade. So my daughter is working on her particular skill level. She will be finished around December, and then I will go ahead and get her the next level. I think it's about $55 to just do the online version, or for about $120 you can get the books and the discs. So this is what we're doing for math, and I love it because it has online tutoring and she gets all the help she needs. Okay, so for 9th grade, we also have Ace Pace's Wordbuilding. It's actually called Etymology. So it's not just spelling at this point. There is a huge list of spelling words, but we're also learning about word roots. And there's always a Bible character trait in there. There are 12 of these little booklets to get through the year, and I'll show you through some in a second. It comes with 4 score keys. I do let her grade her daily work, and I score her tests. And so this is the bundle that she'll work through in a year. And I'll show you. So this is what the beginning of the year looks like. Again, a hefty list of spelling words and what her goals would be. So lots of vocabulary, root words, suffixes, prefixes. It's always going to teach a Bible verse and a character trait, which I love my children to learn those things. There's a test right in the middle that you just pop out, and the parent reads the spelling words. And I will show you one from the end of the year. There is no more word building after 9th grade, so you don't have to use it in 9th grade. You could use it in 10th or 11th, however your year goes. Some bigger spelling words, root words, being thoughtful of others, more vocabulary. Okay. All right, and that is what etymology looks like for Ace Paces. Okay, for 9th grade English, we are also using Ace Paces. Again, there are 12 of these booklets to get you through the year, a set of 4 score keys. Again, I score the test, she scores her daily work. And this is English 1, Book 2. So again, it's all of grammar, it's writing skills. This one's going to do a biographical sketch, practice outlining, working on singular and plural possessives of nouns, a Bible verse, a character trait. They teach with comics. Just give you a flip through of what this work looks like. This is a Christian curriculum. In case you don't know that, you probably figured it out because I keep mentioning Bible verses and character traits. It's not all in color this time. But that's okay. Alright, and I'll show you one of these are her books for the year. I'll show you one from the end of the year. Oh, this one is in color. How about that? Okay, so here it's 7 basic sentence patterns, reviewing diagramming, compound complex sentences, parts of a book, library, doing a literature study. This one talks about showing appreciation to people. Diagramming, that's what the diagramming looks like. Oh, and then it goes black and white. Huh, I guess they pick and choose. Some map work. What is wisdom and how can it help me succeed? I like those conversation comics. Okay, here's the test that you pop out. Okay, now there are 2 literature studies that will be done with this curriculum. One of them is Twice Freed by Patricia St. John. And this one is put out by the company ACE, ACE, Accelerated Christian Education. You can use a regular book, Twice Freed by Patricia St. John. You can get off Amazon or Christian book, but the pages might not line up with the literature assignments in the ACE PACES. Yeah, this one has to do with the slave in the epistles who ran away and then came back. Okay, and this one is the Swiss Family Robinson. Again, this one is printed by ACE, and I would recommend that you buy this one just so that the page numbers align with your literature assignments. All right, so that is English and literature for 9th grade. Okay, so we covered all of our core subjects for 9th grade. Now, should we have time, these are the electives we're adding on. We're going to start with Bible. I have this Culture Shock DVD by Chip Ingram, along with just, this is not the teacher's guide, but just, a question book. I will be doing this with all my teenagers. It hits on some heavy topics that I think we as Christians need to discuss with our children. There are 12 lessons, so we will watch the video and talk about this. So there's 2 lessons on whatever happened to right and wrong, the search for truth about sex, what do you say to a gay friend, understanding abortion today, the church and the environment, and the church and politics. I have done this study with my church actually a few years ago, and it was an amazing study. So I was so glad. I actually found this at a thrift store, and I think I know the lady who got rid of it. So thank you for that. Okay, we're still working on Don't Check Your Brains at the Door by Josh McDowell and Bob Hostetler. We are a few chapters in, but we love it so far. I believe I did put this on my adjusted 8th grade video, but I'll let you see the contents real quick. It's all about myths about God and myths about Jesus, myths about the Bible, myths about the resurrection, myths about religion and Christianity, myths about life and happiness. Yep. So my mom read this book when I was a teenager, and so they have revised and reprinted since then. A DVD I picked up for my girls to do with me is called Lies Young Women Believe. Thought it would be nice to watch the conference instead of having to read through the book. And then a Bible study that she will be doing on her own is called Delight to be a Woman of God by Michaela Vincent. And this is just a 2-page study. There is a topic, there are verses to look up, and questions to answer, and then some personal reflection. So, again, 2 pages. And she'll probably just work on this one once a week. Okay, typing. We have computer typing programs that are played like games. And My daughters have never been interested in them. My son thought they were fun, but he didn't think that they did a good job at teaching him to type. So I bought these typing books from The Good and the Beautiful, and I'm going to use these on probably 4 or 5 of my kids this year. So it gives, a quick introduction to typing and the parts of a keyboard, proper hand position and proper posture. And then here's your simple lesson. So you would put this book on a little stand and make sure your finger's in the right position. And here is lesson 1. It gives you some pointers, and then you just open up a Word document or something on your computer and you follow through the lesson. When you're finished with the lesson, you place a sticker here. There are lessons with paintings. Everything is nature themed. It's supposed to help the children relax and not be stressed. And there are stickers in here somewhere. I just forgot the page that they're on. Oh, here they are on the front page. So nature themed stickers. I did go to Hobby Lobby and I bought a bunch more stickers for the rest of my kids to use so everybody can sticker a lesson. I have the book too. So now you're typing out Bible verses and poems and sentences. And I have book 3, just in case anybody makes it this far. I actually might do this myself. So again, paintings, nature themes, poetry, paragraphs, and numbers. So type in phone numbers, type in dates, type in money amounts. Okay, so that's typing. Music theory is another elective. Now my daughter plays music by ear. She can play Beethoven pieces by ear and pop culture music by ear. But sometimes she wishes she knew the names of the notes. So don't worry about the grade 1. This is solely for the purpose of teaching her the basics of music theory and where to find the notes and what the time signatures mean and what the rests mean and how many beats per note. I have had years of piano lessons and I have tried to teach my children piano, but when they figured out that they could play by ear and not have to stare at these notes and put effort into learning their names, they all just started playing by ear. So I'm going to make her go through this with one of her younger sisters so they can both learn some music theory. So should they ever want to actually read a piece of music, they can do that. Okay, our last elective is what I use on all my high school kids is Total Health. Now, this is a huge book. This is a high school textbook, and it is put out by, where's the company? Oh, Purposeful Design. Okay, so my teenage son, who is in 12th grade this year, is doing this the easy way, and he has just divided all the chapters up by his 4 high school years, and he does 3 to 4 chapters per year. My daughter, who's going into 9th grade, likes to get it done, so she will probably just plow through this in a year, but if she chooses to slow down and take all 4 years, that's fine with me. So there's Welcome to the Human Body, your 11 systems, all about nutrition, fitness and exercise, infectious disease, non-infectious disease, a whole section on mental health, stress and anxiety, life management, made in his image, social health, risky business, emergencies, what is your responsibility as a Christian, as a person, as a citizen, all about your attitude, about maturity, and what about choices and friendships. It does talk a little bit about dating, basically respecting each other when you go on a date and what's appropriate and inappropriate. It does talk about marriage, and it does talk about death. spiritual health. It even talks about suicide and what happens if you are having suicidal thoughts, or a friend is, or if someone you know committed suicide. How do you process that? How do you get through it? What about abortion? And what if you know somebody who's had an abortion and they're having a hard time with that mentally, or they're thinking about it? How can you encourage them or give them good advice? So this hits a lot of hard topics, but I really love the way it's written. My son, who's almost done with it, has no complaints. It does cover drugs and alcohol. Everything is from a Christian perspective, so I'm very comfortable with this book. Alright, thank you for watching all about 9th grade for my 14-year-old daughter.